And we welcome Author Chairman, Mr. Selvam. We also welcome our enthusiastic HOD ma'am, Dr. P.K. Anjani, Co-Chairman, MMA Salem Chapter, and Dr. D. Emmanuel Sir, Co-Chairman, MMA Salem Chapter. Now, I request Dr. P.K. Anjani ma'am to deliver the welcome address.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. So I'm here to do the welcome of the day. So this is the first program which we are organizing under the MMA Salem chapter under the chairmanship of Mr. Tyagu Valliyappa. So being the MMA chairman. Vice Chairman, Sona Group of Institutions, Founder and CEO, Sona Star Innovations Private Limited, Executive Director, Sona Valliyappa Group. And I welcome the guest of the day, Mr. Damodaran Subramanian, Vice President, Aerospace and Defense Business Unit of Avitech. I welcome the co-chairman who is on the way, Ms. Udaya Bharati, Director, Aerospace Engineers Private Limited. And I welcome the co-chairman, Mr. Senthil Kumar, COO and partner, Global Lab and Consultancy Services. I also welcome the co-chairman, Mr. Uday Charan. He's COO from the Daran Hospital. I welcome the co-chairman, Dr. Stephen, Director MBA, Knowledge Institute of Technology. I welcome the co-chairman, Professor Emmanuel from Sona School of Business and Management. I welcome the institutional and individual members of Salem chapter. And I do welcome the faculty of Sona Group of Institutions, staff, and last but not the least, all the student members, students from all the members, member college. So welcome again. So I think, so this is a program where you'll be getting an exposure of what are the challenges which normally the aerospace and defense industry faces. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Now, I invite Mr. Suresh Rao, sir. Now, I invite Mr. Suresh Rao, sir, to deliver the guest profile.
You've not taken a printout of the profile. Yeah, good evening. So I believe we have people from other chapters also here. Other chapters also. So I welcome all of you, dignitaries on the dais, student friends. Thank you so much for coming for this program, which has been, I think we are organizing it every week now. And I have the honor and privilege to introduce my good friend, Mr. Damodaran Subramanian. I think already his profile is there in all the invites which has been sent to everyone. But there are some things which is not there in that, which I would like to throw some light upon. There are some distinct characteristics of this gentleman. As an engineer, he is a hardcore engineer by heart, okay? And he has proved to this part of the world that being a diploma engineer is not a small thing. With the diploma engineering itself, he has shown to his people who worked under him as well as surrounding his various companies where he worked, that as a diploma he can make a difference. He did his diploma in mechanical engineering, and his first job was Ashok Leyland. And to everybody's surprise, that was the first change which happened in Ashok Leyland, where he refused to work in the tool room or on any other contemporary or the old school of thought, which is said, then you straight away go to the shop floor kind of a thing. He said, my choice is R&D. And believe it or not, he got his choice. Otherwise, he clearly refused to join Ashok Leyland because his passion was R&D. So this is the personality what we are introducing, and we are very proud to have you on stage with us today. Thank you so much for coming. Prior to the present company where he is working right now as a vice president for aerospace and defense, I had the good opportunity to meet him when I was heading the aerospace and defense COE for Department of ITBT Science and Technology. That's the first time I had the interaction. We have a common friend who was the HR of Saffron Engineering Services, and that is where I got a chance to meet Mr. Damodaran for the first time. And he was instantly interested to absorb all the engineers who are going through design engineering, because that was a requirement, and he had no second thoughts that this is the kind of training to be given to people to get a job in an aerospace industry. And that was one of the reasons why the courses went on so well. He was one of the guiding factor for us. Thank you so much, sir. And because of you, a lot of engineering students, especially from the mechanical, mechatronics, and EEE areas, they got a ray of hope to work in aerospace industry. Also, we are very thankful that he chose aerospace over automotive over a period of time. Although he had a choice to continue in Ashok Leyland, but he got a chance in aerospace and then he took that challenge. Aerospace is one industry where multidisciplinary engineering streams can work together. I think except biotechnology and architecture students, I think all streams of engineering can work together. And that is the specialty of aerospace. I think that brings a total different perspective to industry. So gone are those days where you work in silos. When you go to the industry, you all work together as a team. It doesn't matter from which stream you come. The problem is greater than everything, and you sit together and solve the problem as a team. So this was one of the areas which he showed great interest and also led by example. Other than that, even after doing a diploma, during his work, he completed some of the best courses through BITS Pilani. I think the profile says it all. So he kept learning all the time. And he showed a new way to people who looked up to him that there is no stop for learning. Even though he was from a mechanical engineering background, he got interested into programming. When he was doing his diploma, he was also teaching computer science in the same polytechnic where he studied. So this is some of the facets of his. And he very proudly says that he started his engineering at a very young age in a scrapyard which was owned by his grandfather. And that is where the engineering spark came into him, where he could actually use all those parts which are available, the metal parts or any of the broken parts. He could use it, or he could break it, or he could make something out of it. So he did this in a scrapyard. Although his family was with very, very different, there were only one or two engineers in the family. His father was a doctor, and there are 6 doctors in the family. He chose to come into mechanical engineering because that was his passion. So there is one more example which he leads, is that if you have passion to achieve something, if you have a dream to come to a level where you have decided that this is going to be a career path, nobody can stop you. So this is the grit and determination he had. So as a personality, there are a lot of things I can keep talking about him. He is a running encyclopedia according to me as far as aerospace and automotive is concerned. He also had tremendous opportunities to travel across the globe, close to about 20 countries, and he has learned a lot of things which is available there and what is not available here, and what is the difference between our engineers and outside engineers, and he immediately start working on those areas so that he can contribute from his side, and that's the reason why he is here today. He has already visited close to 300 colleges across the country, and his mission is to visit at least 3 colleges in a month, even though he has a busy schedule. So he feels that ecosystem has to be created to satisfy the industrial requirements. With that note, I will not take much time of yours. I would leave open the stage to Mr. Damodaran Subramanian. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming. It's a great pleasure once again.
Good evening, respected industry friends, students of Sona Group from different disciplines. Just for my demographic, view, all the MBA students raise your hands. Oh, very good. And any technical? Okay, that means our focus is today on the business side of the technology. Can I run the presentation? So while things are getting set up, okay. So I think Suresh gave a very long introduction. Okay. I'm a lifelong learner. Okay. As Suresh said, I started very early. I'm from Gopichittipalayam, not far from here. From a migrated family from close by to Gopichittipalayam. My father was he's no more, he is a doctor. My father's elder brother Anku is the first engineer to go to the US. He studied in PhD. Then it's a large family. We run a small castle, 11 members, 5 sons and 6 daughters, totally 6 doctors. So we have all trades at home. Textile engineering, DME. So there is no dearth for inspiration. And the interesting thing is, out of all these 11, the CEO of the family is my grandmother. She almost like equivalent to 5 Harvard MBAs. Okay, he runs everything. My grandfather is a chief executive officer. My grandmother is a chairman or president. So I think everybody got this opportunity in those days, but now the families are changing. So that is something, the plus and minus. So we were like a joint family till I was in my school. So first learning starts from there, whether it's a technology, business, more interestingly, conflict management. like it all starts in the family, okay? But the business should go on. So cash flows are managed, revenues are monitored, and investments were happening, cost control, and spending, celebration, everything. Every one of us, we learn our first learning of business administration at home. So mother, even now she does the cash management better than the CFOs. So with that introduction, I just want to give a little bit of an insight about aerospace and defense business. So a little bit of a background about me. My father and my relatives, my mother is a headmistress, by the way. She's with me, my father is no more. And she wanted me to become a doctor because we have a hospital, no? Because who will take care of it? But the concept for me at that point of time, if you really want to run the hospital, you hire another doctor and run this hospital. Okay, I want to follow my passion. Okay, I also know, but because it's a very early instinct, so then I studied. I did my Tamil medium education, and 6th standard, one fine day, somebody called, tomorrow onwards, whoever is interested to go to English medium, I raised my hand. And quarterly exam in Tamil medium, half yearly in English medium. And we got a choice to write one question in Tamil, one question in English. I was not very good in language. I don't know grammar. I learned grammar by talking, speaking, by making mistakes. Then I got a chance to start my first and last in-campus education in diploma in mechanical engineering. That is also, it's not a fulfilling thing because 1 year I have to be in the industry. So this is my foundation. The first slide on the top left is showing about that. I think that is Ashok Leyland. I got selected through campus, and we had a lot of challenges and fantastic training after this 3.5 years. I worked for 10 years. I don't have any focus outside of that company for the 10 years. The only objective is how to learn and how to make use of every minute and every hour. I slept in the office so far several nights. I don't come back to home because we get a nice breakfast, lunch and dinner also there. So when everything is taken care, you have to make use of the best opportunity. That's the first learning. Whether you are an engineer or an MBA or CFO, whatsoever, that gave me a solid, rich experience of 10 years. I worked on all functions. I wanted to be in the research and development, but later I got so many other opportunities. I was managing 1 crore fund those days between 1990 to 2000 for R&D expenditure. I converted the entire office into a modern digital office. I trained more than 100 engineers in CAD camp. They're all like my father figures. So, mechanical engineer or whatever you get your first degree is only a passport, your first step. Forget it. Afterwards, what are you going to do next? The next is I got an opportunity after 10 years to work for a Detroit-based engineering company in Bangalore. We designed the car and crash simulation. Those days there were only 2 car models. Nobody knew about seat belt. So we were modeling and what is the impact when the car crashes. Today we are seeing it. And I was responsible for working for General Motors and Ford. So all the time I was in flight to work for these 2 car companies. That gave me some inspiration to get into aerospace. So I moved to a French-based company for the last 17 years. Setting up in all these places, I started as a first 10 employees. In Ashok Leyland also, they posted me in Hosur because I wanted R&D, they gave R&D, but after training, they said you go to Hosur. I said no problem. I was the first trainee engineer here in Hosur. Same thing happened in Easy. I got only 6 or 7 engineers, and within 4 years we are able to make more than $25 million of sales, and I almost exported 100 engineers per month to Detroit. So that's some of the achievements. So I'm not saying only diploma engineer can do, graduates. All we need is a business acumen. This is there for everybody. For that you need not go to school, but you need to learn some techniques to improve that. Then during this 16, 17 years, almost I visited 20 countries for business. I meet so many people, language, lot of barriers, learn their culture before doing this business. As an MBA student, most of you need to learn more outside of the syllabus. Even I went to, during this 30 years, I had a chance to learn from the leading business schools, including IMA, IMD, residential programs. They don't let you to sleep. It is not, like burdening with the tasks, but time is very critical. Make use of every minute. So I used to spend almost 18 hours per day in those months. So these are all some of the examples. My family now, I have a daughter. She's a junior research fellow working on cancer biology. That's her passion. Son is doing his MCom. Soon he got placed, but he's waiting for his joining date. He'll be working for KPMG on a global taxation. That's a little bit of a background. I have a passion and a social responsibility. I want to give back to the society. In a year, I go to 3 or 4 colleges, spend my day with, to give back, especially to the faculty and students. And I'm also a member in several initiatives like ACE India is a body for engineers to enrich their skills and knowledge, not only for the students but also for the professional members. So I want to talk a little bit about, today you are going to learn something about aerospace industry. How many of you have not flown in the aircraft? Okay, so then you should know about this. That's going to be the motivation. Rest of the people, even if you fly in the aircraft, what is behind it? Okay, aircraft industry is a long gestation which needs patience. Okay, it's a story of 50 years. Life cycle of the aircraft. What is the life cycle of a mobile phone? Anyone? Right from the idea to bury in the louder. 5 years. Okay, that's a good guess. Okay. Any other numbers? So when they start putting the strategy or developing the first blueprint for design, how they do it? Any idea? How they know that which model, which color, which form factor will be attractive to you so that more people go and buy?
By taking reviews of people.
Sorry?
By taking reviews of the people.
No, you don't have the product. How they will review? New product. For example, iPhone 16. Nobody know, no? How many cameras, what will be the form factor, weight, charge time. Okay, there is a technique you should learn. They just do some kind of a, like a market survey, user experience, user expectation. All those things are happening in the background. Very similar to that, aerospace also it happens. Somebody need to design what kind of a passenger capacity, what is the price, and aerospace is not directly bought by the users. Most of the things are managed through leasing companies, okay, and they lease it to the airlines. So what you need to learn is, it's a long story. Design itself, it takes 15 years. Manufacturing takes another 15 years. Then you need to sell. For example, India has ordered recently, Air India has ordered around 250 planes. You know what is the money? It's the largest order ever placed by any country, not even US. So what is important here is you need to know this is a long gestation. It is a 120-year-old business and huge stakes are involved and it's going to grow. So that's the message. So now, any business, there is always a risk. Okay, I don't know whether how many of you learned so far about risk management. Okay, you will learn. What is risk? Any general answer? Any unplanned thing disrupts your business, right? COVID is a global risk. Oil challenges. You don't know oil prices when it's going up, when the war is there. Sometimes during wartime, oil prices are down. Somebody want to increase their cash flow. Second thing is your green initiatives. That means people are saying don't use oil. Like there is a new fuel, sustainable air fuel, SAF is coming, and safety challenges. Such a big animal, it's missing. Still now they are not able to find. And you know what is the stake involved in the insurance? Nobody will tell you, it's not in public. Still they are finding. Unexpected turns like COVID, war, okay, your economy. If suddenly some bank collapses, airline prices will increase. So it is a 360-degree attack on this industry. Still this industry is surviving. Okay. Also, there is a threat to this industry also. Now they want to minimize this utilization by newer technologies. But why I am showing all these things are, you have to understand, he or she may be in one of the industry associated to this aerospace business. Maybe you will be in a bank lending to the airlines. You need to understand what is the airline business. You are directly working with the aerospace company, or you are a travel company, retail. Okay? So for everybody, there is a matrix of collaboration with all these industries. Second thing is, the business is highly dynamic. It's very hard. This is my style of presenting. I don't know if you are able to make it. Basically, I'm trying to see 1990 to 2050. I'm just visualizing as an individual, as a technocrat, how things are there. One thing what I'm saying is, people are changing the business model. Okay, diversification happens. Airlines doesn't operate like the way it was earlier. Then reskilling, the skills what it was needed earlier, it's not enough. People need to learn more and more skills. New technologies are coming. We have to adapt and sustain in the market. These are all some of the things. Like any other industry, this is a very famous slide, how the disruption happens in the technology field. One is on the material side, the middle one is on the smart technologies. Like I think most of you know what it is. Okay, there is a sensor, camera, which is intelligent, like it recognizes your face. Okay, then data analytics. All of you, most of you are going to touch one or many of these technologies today, tomorrow, during your lifetime. And this burst of technologies also converge into products. For example, we are talking about electric two-wheeler, electric car, but people are working on electric aircraft. It's already tested, it's going to be operational very soon. We are talking about 3D printing. It's not anymore a very sacred technology. It's a day-to-day, you can do it at your home. Okay, it's portable. Analytics we are doing. And this presentation I prepared a little earlier, but the last 3 months, I'm a big fan of ChatGPT. It's going to kill a lot of trades, a lot of jobs. Okay? How many of you tested ChatGPT? All assignments, correct? Super. But you will get only from 2021 before, unless you subscribe to 4, correct? Okay. So that's very interesting. So what is here is, you saw drones, you have unmanned aerial vehicle. I'm touching upon Industry 4.0. Most of you will get a great opportunity to be part and parcel of this. So, for many of you, probably you would have learned this in your studies. It is the evolution or the revolution. First, second, third, okay? First revolution is more of a, like a mass production, then electrical energy is introduced, computers. Now we are talking about a combination of several technologies attacking the industry together. It's artificial intelligence from the software, IoT, and industrial IoT. This is my view of looking at the modern industry and the future. Under this chart, you have a job for all the trades in the world, including medical sciences. Okay, there is a doctor inside. Okay, there is a health monitoring person inside. There are a lot of hidden things. This is a very nice slide. I like this always. And bottom, I will put all the demands, requirements, technologies. So, as a MBA grad, you pick up whatever you can take. You know, like in some of the TV shows, no, they open the gift room, you go inside, and 1 minute, whatever you can grab, you get it. In these 2 years, or whenever you get time, instead of seeing, you know, like a 1 hour reel, half an hour you listen to some podcast in any one of the topic. Everything is free and available in the cloud. So this is only a pointer to you. I put one thing at the bottom, project management. I was discussing with your staffs and faculties. This is going to be a new title, it is already there, but with a much more vigor. Okay? There's a great opportunity for all of you. There is a demand of this trade or this skill, project management. It's a very interesting job. You know, like by hierarchy and responsibility, it is almost next to CEO. It will be interesting. So anyone got an idea what is this trade, what is this skill, what is this job description? Maybe ask ChatGPT, it will give you. It's very interesting. So this role is going to be very interesting. I'm also planning to interact with your management to see how I can give some ideas and suggestions. And here we are talking about the manless monitoring of an engineering machine shop. Okay, so it's very interesting. Everything is digital, and the project manager remotely monitors, and he also makes some meaningful. For example, we talk about overall efficiency, which machine is breakdown. Everything comes from the sensor. It's not only telling you, but also if, for example, if some cooling system is not working, the service contract will enable the log to that company. That fellow will be on the way to attend this. If there are some parts failure, it will reorder automatically. But somebody need to design these systems and monitor this. This is one view. Other thing is, since I come from mechanical engineering and software and AI, this is also going to be the future. Okay, my grandfather's time we were using a pure mechanical lathe. Okay, all the skill and knowledge in the brain and the fingertips. And if he is sick, you can't produce the same quality. Okay, now the things have changed. They've gone for some modernization. Now they went into the next generation of automation, numerical control, computer numerical control. Now, the third generation is taking the human excellence, but also automation, and it also gives the feedback to the neural network. For example, if there is a temperature increase, it will sense that it will not. Normal machine does not know those soft points. So what is important here is there is a huge amount of data analytics, not only in BFSI, in production also. The modern production units are with tons and tons of data. So suppose if you are able to manage this data, gather this data, analyze and give a meaningful reports, there is a new business. That means you need to have some number crunching ability, a little bit of a technology experience. That's a new line of business. So this is the slide I was saying. The machine will tell that in automation it does not know when to stop. And here it senses, it automatically stops, and it also writes a log why it has become like this. Is it because of the flaw in the raw material or the tool breakage? And it records this and makes some improvement. So other thing is, in an industry environment, whatever I am talking, if you are not understanding something, please raise the hand. I will try to tell in a different way. Today I am focusing, this is not specific to one particular trade of curriculum, okay? It's for everybody. It could be for a businessman, it could be for a manager, it could be for a student who is going to manage. So I want to talk these 4 points. which is very important for anybody. What kind of an innovation quotient we are doing in our task? We should improve at least 10% per project per year, okay? And we need to save money and set aside some budget for that. That's a practice. Otherwise, innovation doesn't happen because that 10% will add up into my profit and my gross margin is improved, my PBT is improved. I'm very happy I'm at the same level. The new company startup will eat me away because they decide from day one how much money should go for innovation. The next one is agility. Agility is not fast, like adapting to the different situation. You take all these terms and put it in your qualities and learn something about this, put your resume, take your first job, you will be somewhere else, okay? Efficiency, you need to really understand, like many of the people don't measure the efficiency, we only measure by the completion status. I take one task, I complete it, but at what rate I complete it, how to beat this, what can enable, whether automation or like a process change, one of this. Risk is my favorite topic. Today the whole world is sitting on risk. For example, we never understood what is risk until COVID. After COVID, we all understand what is risk and we also know how to mitigate the risk. So risk mitigation is a big thing which is for everybody. Even if you are a student, for example, I don't know about risk at that point of time. I was facing my department selection interview in Ashok Leyland. Since I am a software person, I put a flow chart. Wherever start, whatever the conditions, the end state will be getting into R&D department. So I made a 3-page flow chart. I simulated a lot of questions. Whatever they ask, my results will be there. I exactly answered in that form. So risk is something like that. You keep your focus, never deviate your goal. But you simulate what all the things can disrupt this project. For example, you want to go for a weekend outing or movie, you will get a lot of risk from parents or brothers and sisters, but you are very smart, spontaneously you overcome this, correct? I'm just giving a general example. In business also, we need to create, even though the risk is not there, artificially we need to introduce, if that happens, what I should do. And risk managers are highly in demand. There are a lot of certification courses available, how to perceive risk, how to manage risk, how to mitigate risk, how to eradicate for a lifetime. Okay? And financial risk, sales, marketing, etc. So there are so many things which I have already discussed. This is another slide which is close to my heart. So what you see on the left and bottom is a technology road. Okay? I have a brilliant idea. Today the startups are there, right? Have you seen the startups? Many of them are non-techie guys. They follow the middle one. They have a strategy, they jump into the business model. Rest of the things for them, they can acquire. They can hire a CEO also. As long as they are able to put a nice project plan, if the VC or the funding company or the individual, high network individual is able to sponsor, the project is on. Okay? But if you are a technology person, you will be more focusing on the left and bottom. But it's very important in the modern business, people are assigning a clear role, who's the custodian of the program or project or the company itself. Okay? Because company, it's all hierarchical. Company can have several programs can have several projects. So there is somebody need to manage in a 360-degree view. So as an MBA graduate, you should aim to gain that role as a program manager, which is highly in demand, whether it's a software development company, services company, or a product company. This role is very, very important. Okay? I think you have all the basic ingredients in your curriculum. All you have to do is learn a little bit of a specialization. If you are going for automotive company, understand how the automotive company works. So I will throw some light on that, some of the technologies enable. In any business, you need to understand, first of all, you should have a good strategy. Why we are in this business, why not? Okay? What will destabilize my aim? Do I start this business because of my family? That means somebody has already proven I need to enhance it. This could be one way. I'm a newcomer to this business. I have a good friend, like I'm starting this business, or you're working for a company. Then you go on a technology route, but somebody need to monitor what is the outcome of the business, when I'm going to get my first rupee, okay? When my break-even happens. All these things are simple terms today. Anybody can learn. There are a lot of material available, and very much it is in your curriculum also. And you have to understand what all the things will disrupt and destabilize, what are the risks. So I'll skip that. I'm just focusing as a one industry as aerospace. We talk so much about aircraft and how it is manufactured. Now we will also see in the field. See, today flight operation is not anymore like an old one. Like there's a lot of back-end system available. Somebody is monitoring, booking, money involved, okay? Cash payment, discounts. For example, you book the ticket. When the leasing company will get the money, nobody know. Airlines, they don't know when they will get. Credit card companies will hold the money and they release after 10 days, 20 days. So all those things, there is a lot of, the volume is increasing. There is a lot of opportunity for people like you to manage the program, bring some innovation, some ideas. And flight operation is not anymore, like you go into the aircraft and fly. It's a city by itself. If you go to Chennai or Bangalore or any other airport, we spend more time on the ground than in the aircraft. Okay? Check-in time, waiting time, shopping time, coffee time. Okay? Everything is business. So, if somebody is interested in retail, look at sales in airports are much higher. It's 3x to 4x. High revenue and high investment and high returns. Then, if you are the more and more throughput will open up a lot of business for ground support systems. The security, a lot of technology is involved there. Let us come to Salem. Okay, what we can do from here? Because some of the people, okay, very recently, yesterday I was talking to the Tamil Nadu Industrial Corporation because I work for an aviation manufacturing company. What we can do? I saw that very interestingly, Salem is in the middle of it. So that means it's a ground zero virgin field. That means you can start something. Already few companies are there. If you are already in the technology company, you need to really understand what are the first steps you have to take to go into aerospace. One thing is I told. Okay, very interesting question.
Cost of this development.
Okay.
Strategy, money.
So let us take I have a lot of students here. If you give a strategy, they will give you the business case in 1 hour. Correct? Who is going to volunteer? Okay. Just joking. I'll tell you. Can I ask you, in the business sector? Very good. So two-wheeler, you are in selling services? Okay. So, எப்படி அந்த business வந்தீங்க? What prompted you? Why two-wheeler business? Why not car? Why not truck?
நான் two-wheeler business வந்தது 1980.
Okay.
அன்னைக்கு அது growing business. அடுத்து ஒரு 50 years அந்த business வந்து continuous growing.
Okay, it will further grow. Don't worry. So, let us say 1980 you start running.
73ல அந்த ரிப்பேர் அண்ட் மெக்கானிசத்துக்கு மேலே எனக்கு ஒரு பேஷன் இருந்தது.
எக்யூப்மெண்ட், லேண்ட், உங்கள் இடமும் இந்த பணம் வந்து உங்களுக்கு ரிட்டர்ன் உடனே வராது.
கரெக்ட்.
சாரி, யுவர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ராஃபிட் வந்து இது வந்து கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ போயிட்டு தான் இருக்கும். உங்க சேவிங்ஸ்ல இருந்தோ லோன் வாங்கியிருந்தீங்களோ அது கிரீன் லைன்.
ஓகே
ஓகே, இது வந்து பிஸ்னஸ் பிளான். இப்போ நான் இவ்வளோ இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கேன், எனக்கு இவ்வளோ ரிட்டர்ன் வரும்னு நீங்கள் ஒரு எதிர்பார்க்குறீங்க, அதுதான் அந்த பிங்க் லைன்.
ஓகே.
சில சமயம் என்ன ஆகும், உங்கள் பில்டிங் கான்ட்ராக்டரோ இல்லை எக்யூப்மெண்ட் டிலே பண்ணால் இந்த லைன் வந்து அப்படியே போயிடும். அது வரைக்கும் நீங்கள் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பே பண்ணுவீங்க.
கண்டிப்பாக ஃபிக்ஸ்டு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பே பண்ணி
போயிட்டு இருக்கும். ஸோ இது ஒரு டூல். இப்போ ஃபைனான்ஸ் MBA ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் கேட்டிங்கன்னா இந்த டீட்டெயில்ஸ் எல்லாம் கொடுத்தா நம்ம ஒரு ப்ரிடிக்ஷன் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஏரோஸ்பேஸ் பிஸ்னஸில் பில்லியன்ஸ் ஆஃப் டாலர் போடுறவங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரிட்டர்ன் வந்து 30 வருஷத்துக்கு அப்புறம் வரும். ஓகே, வைல் இது சொல்கிறப்போ அது வந்து புது ஏர்கிராஃப்ட்க்கு, பட் இது ஆல்ரெடி 3000 ஏர்கிராஃப்ட் வந்து இருக்குது. அதுக்கு மெயின்டெனன்ஸ்க்கு வந்து காம்பனன்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் வரும். உங்களுக்கு ப்ராஃபிட்னா தெரியும்ல எவ்வளோ வரும். ஓகே, ஏரோஸ்பேஸில் வந்து மினிமம் 50% வரும். 300%, 3000% கூட போகும், டிபெண்டிங் அப்பான் யுவர் ஸ்கில்
ஒரு வால்யூம்.
ஸோ யூ நீட் டு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் திஸ். இதோட டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸ் வந்து நிறைய மார்க்கெட் ஸ்டெபிலைசேஷன். இப்போ கோவிட் வந்துச்சு, இது ஆகும்.
எக்கனாமிக் கிரைசிஸ்,
எனி பிஸ்னஸ்
ஆயில் பிரைஸ், ரன்னிங் காஸ்ட் கூடும்,
Correct.
நிறைய ஃபேக்டர்ஸ்ல அது டிஃபிகல்ட் வரும்.
So,
பட் அந்த சேலஞ்ச் எல்லாம் பண்ணி நம்ம அந்த டார்கெட்டை
கரெக்ட். இது எதுக்குன்னா முந்தி காலத்துலலாம் வந்து நம்ம வந்து ஒரு எதிர்பார்ப்போட பண்ணுவோம், டெய்லி உட்காந்து கவுண்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இருப்போம். இப்போ மாடர்ன் எஜுகேஷன்ல வந்து என்னன்னா ஃபைனான்ஸ்ல வந்து இந்த மாதிரி கற்றுக் கொடுக்குறாங்க. இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் எடுக்கணும்னா என்னோட பாஸ் வந்து எனக்கு சைன் பண்ண மாட்டார், அவருக்கு இதை நான் காமிக்கணும்
டேட்டா.
ஆமாம், பாரு இவ்வளோ சேல்ஸ் இருக்கு, திஸ் இஸ் அ மார்க்கெட் அனாலிசிஸ், இத்தனை பேர் வந்து வண்டி இல்லாமல் இருக்காங்க, இவங்க 2 வீலர் வாங்கினா இது எப்போ சர்வீஸ்க்கு வரும், ஒரு சர்வீஸ்க்கு எவ்வளோ வரும், வாட் இஸ் த லேபர் காஸ்ட், இதெல்லாம் இந்த கர்வில் வரும். ஸோ இது வந்து ட்ரெடிஷ்னலாக என்ன ஆகுனா இது இன்ஜினியர் பண்ணுவாங்க, இது ஃபைனான்ஸ் ஆல் பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ வந்து டெக்னோ கமர்ஷியல். இப்போ இன்ஜினியருக்கு வந்து அவர் சும்மா ஒரு மாடல் கொடுத்துட்டு இந்த ப்ராடக்ட் நீங்கள் பண்ணுங்க வரும்னா யாரும் நம்ப மாட்டாங்க. இப்போ ஸோ வி ஹேவ் டு டெவலப் திஸ் மாடல். ஓகேங்களா? தேங்க்ஸ்.
அதாவது நீங்கள் சொல்றது இப்போ வந்து ஏரோஸ்பேஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸில் ஹியூஜ் இன்வெஸ்ட்மெண்ட் இப்போ போடணும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ₹1 வரதுக்கு 30 வருஷம்.
நான் சொல்றது ஏர்லைன் போயிங் அண்ட் ஏர்பஸ்க்கு.
ஓகே,
பட் இப்போ நான் வந்து
இன்னைக்கு இவர் எடுத்திருக்காரு,
நான் ஒரு காம்பனன்ட் சப்ளை பண்றேன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன். மிஸ்டர் சுந்தரம் இருக்காரு,
Aerospace
அவர் ரப்பர் காம்பனன்ட் கொடுக்குறாரு. அவர் வந்து எதுக்கு கொடுக்குறாருன்னா மெயின்டெனன்ஸ்க்கு. இப்போ நீங்க சர்வீஸ் பண்றீங்கல்ல, அதெல்லாம் கேஷ் அண்ட் கேரி. நீங்க பில்ல பே பண்ணாதான் வண்டி வெளியில வரும். ஓகே, hope you understand.
ஓகே சார், என்னோட ஃப்ரெண்டு தான் சுந்தரம்.
Okay, he is my good friend for 15 years.
வெரி குட்.
Please.
So, the airline industry works in sale and lease back model around. But the question is, the way you're going to invest in R&D is definitely going to increase your negative cash flow for a long period.
Yes.
It's going to be 40 or 40.
Correct.
How do you take the
So you are seeing this industry in the middle of 100 years. Okay. Jamshedji Ji, when he invested, he got a lot of money. Okay. Many of the airline or aircraft companies are owned by government, and it is an offshoot of defense. For example, government has put a lot of money in defense aircraft. It is a must, non-negotiable investment. When these technologies are there, they converted into dual use. For example, have you seen army vehicles, green color vehicles? It's not all the time worked for war. Okay, soldiers, their family, school. If you are in a cantonment, you will see that. That's called dual use. Likewise, they shifted that investments into civilian aircraft. That is how they offset the cash flow.
So, but still, looking at the cash flows, it's the airline industry is pretty much affected by the cash flow part.
You're in MBA?
No, I'm in finance, ACC student. Finance, yeah, okay. You know a little bit about finance? Yeah. Okay. You know what is happening on the investment companies, Ola, Uber, Swiggy? Yeah. Okay, what is happening? How much profit Swiggy makes? You know? Yes. You know what? How much turnover they are making?
Yeah, turnover is
Very good turnover. Annual turnover increase of around 7 to 10%. So they are existing. So people are investing on the business model, not the cash flow, not the profit. Why you are investing on shares?
so for capital gains and also for the
Absolutely. But what is the, like what is the disclaimer there?
profit.
At your risk. At your risk. Yeah. So I have some excess money. Okay. It's a consortium.
So, but we don't generate cash flows here. That's it.
No. Okay. I didn't tell you something. This industry is existing for 125 years. Each aircraft life cycle is 50 years. There is already 2,000 aircrafts in service. And these aircrafts, the more it's in air, it makes money. If it is in ground, it doesn't make any money, right? So that's why they make it very quickly. Maintenance is done 100%, safety, critical. It makes money, except COVID. Sometimes COVID brought down a lot of negative cash flow. So they don't spend more money on development, they put on operations, refurbishing. So today it is a running sustainable model. That's why actually 5 new models supposed to come. All are stopped. There is no cash. So now we need to get the money, life extension. If it is retiring in 50 years, put some spare parts, extend by 5 years.
So, but it's never gonna make a benefit
No,
to
you
the
are,
economies of scale.
no, I understand. You and me are seeing this business in the 80th percentile of the running life cycle.
Okay.
You need to go back to the zero. Okay? It is sustainable model. Otherwise, 100,000 people will not be there in the business. I will not be talking in front of you. Okay. So this is something which we need to see. One is the demography, what is the local skills, what is the infrastructures, what kind of talents available. That is one of the reason I come here to see how I can assess the skill gaps available here, how to prepare, because I've been doing for last 17 years. When I started here, not many students with an aerospace background, both for the technology and the management. And this is a small list of companies, and it's growing. This has got a lot of aero and non-aero companies also. So you need to attract these companies as a customer, as a partner, okay, or learn something from them. Indian companies also. And it's a very, very complex system. In 17 years, I could understand only 2 to 3%. 97%, it is still there to explore. So if I want to learn the systems, lifelong I can learn. Starting from externals, like this is the aero structure, this is a big business. Investments are very high. So normally, the moment an industrialist, I want to get into aerospace, he will see the elephant's external thing and he will step back. Okay? This consists of so many smaller systems like engine, landing gear, nuts and bolts, wiring, which goes into this. If you take the bill of material, it will be 1 lakh minimum. So there is a small place for everybody. And all small components, the big companies cannot make it. They need a tier 1 or tier 2 suppliers. That's the message from this, beyond the technical thing. So now let us talk about why it's having a difficulty in India. This is a common problem. Every one of us should work towards. I've been doing my best I spent 15 years in the automotive industry. If you are a mechanical engineer, the nuts and bolts does not distinguish except the quality. It is like I buy a stud from a non-gold. Manufacturing process is same. If I go to gold, it's the same mold, but the material is little different. So the price is also varying according to that. So what is missing here is to make such a product in India, we need a lot of ecosystem. First, product knowledge, where it is used, Because of safety critical, there is a complete traceability required. That means when they pour the metal in the foundry, from there it goes up to the life end. There is a traceability. That's where the technologies are helping. Somebody might know that there is a term called digital thread. What is a digital thread? It's nothing but end to end. Okay? Then product knowledge, material process, lot of heat treatment, testing, maintenance and repair. These are all very new things. It's not in India. If somebody want to go into this, there is an ample opportunity. Imagine after some time, it's already around 500 aircrafts are flying here. In another 10 to 15 years, another 1,000 will get added. India will become a hub like Singapore or Dubai very soon. Okay? So it is not for our generation, it is for the next generation. See, business always, we can't achieve in our lifetime, right? In a visionary businessman, they always say, how I can put the best to my lifetime, how I can pass it on to my successors in the company or the family. What if scenarios, like there is a lot of challenges like design iterations, manufacturing deviations. So these are all some of the things we need to take care. It's like a loop actually. So other thing is, this slide I prepared in 2012 or 2013. At that point of time, all these news were not there. You know, like we don't have so many airports, so many government programs. Okay, everyone used to talk about Make in India. Making in India, if I get a drawing from there, if I do only component manufacturing, what is the use? I add only labor. So first we need to design in India. Actually, that part is already taken care. I used to manage around 1,000 engineers who work on design of all these components sitting in Bangalore. It goes through the network, it goes to France, Canada, and it's getting manufactured there. So that means it's possible, if not to 100%, at least to some level. Then localize in India. At least not 100%, do few parts here, whatever it's applicable. Look at right here. Mr. Sundaram is accredited for Boeing, Indian Defense. So it's going from this part of the land. So we need to increase that bandwidth now. Procure in India. That means today every part for MRO, it comes from France or US. At least those parts you can make, design, make, localize, certify and procure in India. Then next step is assemble in India. When the order has gone for 500 planes, already Civil Aviation Ministry put a request to Boeing and Airbus. Why not you set up a manufacturing plant? I have seen all these manufacturing plants in outside of these countries. Mexico, it's a very interesting country. In 2019, the government officials sat with us how to improve the design capability. Right from the minister, they were talking to us because they are very fond and very confident of our Indian education system. So aerospace industry is a massive opportunity for everybody. It's not only for manufacturing but also for technology, design, project management, finance. So it is a big game. Then certify in India, then only we achieve the status of made in India. That means one day Indian planes, China is already ahead of us. So what are the challenges making in India? One is the technology. Technology will come from, you need more people. For example, I'll tell you a very interesting story. I was a program manager for, there was a project, it was abandoned. It is MMRCA, the Rafale Make in India. It's got a lot of controversy. I don't know if you go through YouTube or Google, you will see. Okay. Then I was a technology person. Around 300 people were working on this project. I'm one of them. So my job is to look at the educational ecosystem in India and the MSMEs in India to support this program. I found that we are far away from the requirements. And second thing is, with all these investments, we are making 108 engines. It's very difficult to get the return on investment. So Prime Minister, after that, he took a decision. He's a businessman actually. He's the CEO of the country. So he took a calculation, he decided it's not going to work, let us take it on a flyaway condition. But it's working. So universities and colleges, so now what he is saying is, you start indigenizing this towards the end of the supplies, so that at least in the next 10 to 20 years, we have the skills through universities and colleges, government policies. Today they also stopped import of 120 critical items, thereby forcing the Indian companies and the original equipment manufacturers, they cannot supply to India. If any company or any individual interested in indigenizing this, government is giving the full fund of development, all NRE costs and everything they will take care. So this is a chain. Aerospace company, non-aerospace company should get into this, look at the technology partnership. And there are many companies are not able to run this business in Europe and US. JV, collaboration, due diligence. So a lot of MBAs are required to do the project report. Okay, this is a very dense and if you are a technical person, this is what I put Vision 2025 in 2016. Okay, this is purely on a technology side, how we need to do industrialization, quality, methods, supply chain, project management. Everywhere you can see project management. This is not a technical role. It is a transverse role. And the CAM process, if somebody is interested, they will understand this. So I gave an example of simple pipe which goes into aircraft. It's very expensive. And you need to make to the tolerance. It's very easy to start. In India it is already there, many companies are doing. I think I just want to give a flavor of what is aerospace industry, what is the opportunity for industries, students, especially if you are coming from the background of technology and the business administration. I have not touched upon some specific things on HR and learning and strategy, marketing, sales, all are embedded into this, but I try to touch upon a few points. Maybe now I open the floor for some questions from this presentation or in general. So by the way, I also attempted to get the MBA degree. I made a few attempts from Indian University, fast track MBA. I did a little bit of a course in UTT Dallas and IIM Bangalore, IIM Ahmedabad, but all are specialization. So if I add all of them, I can answer few of your questions also if you have any. No questions, end of the day. So tired. Oh. I'm done with my presentation.
சார் கொஸ்டின் இல்லை, இந்த ஏரோஸ்பேஸ் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸில் ரீசெண்டாக டாட்டா வந்து ஒரு 500 ஏர்பிளைட் வந்து ஆர்டர் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இது வந்து இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஹப்பாக ஏரோ ஏடிஆர் கண்ட்ரோலில் இருந்து எல்லாமே என்ன ரீசன் சொன்னீங்கன்னா, இப்போ துபாயிலேருந்து ஆப்ரேட் பண்ணுறது யூரோப்லேருந்து யூஎஸ்க்கெல்லாம் போகணுன்னா அந்த ட்ராவலிங் டைம் வந்து ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தி. அதே மாதிரி கேத்தே பெசிபிக்னா நம்ம ஹாங்காங்கில் இருந்தோம், நம்ம திருச்சிக்காரர் வந்து கோலாலம்பூரில் இருந்து பண்ணாங்க. இந்த மாதிரி எல்லா சிங்கப்பூரியால் எல்லாமே பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த ஜேர்னி ஹவர்ஸு 3 or 4 hours. ஸோ இந்தியா வந்து ஒரு டாட்டா வந்து இந்த பிஸ்னஸை டேக் ஓவர் பண்ணணுமே, அவங்க ஒரு பெரிய மாஸ்டர் பிளான், ஒரு 500 ஏர்க்ராஃப்ட் ஆல்ரெடி இருக்கிறது, மெயின்டெனன்ஸ் எல்லாத்துக்கும் அவங்களோட ரிசர்வ்ல இருந்து பண்ணுறாங்க. நான் ப்ராஃபிட்டாக இப்போதைக்கு அவங்களோட ஃபியூச்சர் வந்து இந்தியா ஒரு ஹப்பாக மாறுது. இது கார்கோ, ட்ராவல், பேசஞ்சர் எல்லாருக்கும். இதை பற்றி சாருக்கு ஏதாவது
Nice question. I shown you one strategy and business model slide. Tata is in the business maybe 90 plus years, and any business they do, they have a different organization. There is one group called Tata Sons. They drive the strategy from that office. Around 500 people are working. The best in best of business administration students are working. Probably you can also apply if you are, definitely if you get it, it's a good thing. And I know Tata is my lifetime rival. When I was in Ashok Leyland was number 2, Tata is number 1. I got a privilege to host Ratan Tata in Ashok Leyland bus because he came to our stall first because of the features. So we made our first AC bus with a recliner with the AC vent in 2002 in Delhi. It got a toilet at the back. Each bus cost those days around 30 lakhs. So I could understand their long-term strategy. Tata is next to government or the government, Delhi government. Okay, and their plan, they cannot think about a smaller projects. Anything they do, it's a long-term, large investment. So stakes are high, returns are high, risks are high. So they don't shy away by investing. This is what I am also learning after 30 years. We always, as an individual, we take risk what I can do individually or collectively. But why this MBA is introduced? To create some simulation in the business model. For example, I do engineering for aircraft and landing gear. Everything crashes in the computer. I don't worry. So they work on this. To come to your point, sir, they put all their plans very systematically. They went into automobile, they learned technology, they bought companies, they sold this to Air India, they are not able to run, they got it. More than that, they invested heavily on engineering. And now also they are making structural parts from Hyderabad. Okay, they bought airlines. Very soon they will have everything into their system. The idea is like how to create, like a flying experience for the country and preserve the money here itself. Today, so much of the money goes to Gulf, okay, Dubai, Qatar, and on this side goes to Europe, France, UK. Now everything will come down. So this is a master plan. And what they are doing, this order is not an accident. It is a climax of 20-year story. But part 2 will come.
ஆனா இதுல நம்மளுக்கு நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி வரும்
100%. MROs will come. அவங்களுக்கு maybe அவங்களுக்கு after 10 years they will get a job. See, only one responsibility for us is if we have some surplus, invest on this. Create some ecosystem so that somebody will continue. Why I am spending my time is only that. Whatever I know I am saying, if you are interested, see in stocks also there is a long-term investment. You will not get the returns immediately, maybe you will get dividends, something like that. This is also interesting. If you want a high adrenaline, risk-taking business or learning, get into this business. See, challenge is like a mild dose. Risk is do or die. Okay. One more thing I'll tell you, sir. When we are working on this project, if somebody says that I'm going to delay by 1 day, you are short. So we have to say everything other than positive because it's called Six Sigma. Six Sigma means there is no failure. So how to get that situation? Why some countries, some sportsmen always consistently win that? Why some colleges get that rank? So they work for it. In aerospace also that. See, in ground if something goes wrong, I can off-track my vehicle. In air, I cannot do. Either safe landing or rest in peace.
There are many MBA students here.
Sir.
So we have a domain on business analytics.
Business analytics, yes.
So as you said, there are many opportunities in operation sector business analytics.
Yes.
So how they are able to get fetch a job in
Okay. There are several international companies and national companies separately doing market analysis. Like there is a consortium called IATA, International Air Travel Association. They publish a lot of reports. Understand that there could be a business for airlines, aircraft manufacturers, MRO, but it's for that you have to be a MBA grad, work in any of these domains to get the domain knowledge, then only you can do analysis. I worked on certain projects, competitive analysis. For example, what Airbus is doing, Boeing will do. And everything will be tight-lipped. But still we will be able to get something because you have financial data, how much R&D fund is spent, so we reverse engineer from there. So you need a little bit of a technical knowledge to get into this. So there is an opportunity, but you need to have some basic understanding of the domain for the first 3 to 5 years. There are some companies like Markets. There are so many research companies. You can explore that. In fact, many of my employees, after working for 5 years, they went there.
Good evening, sir. I'm Jayashree. So, how do you think that the Ukraine war affect your aerospace, and how do you think that pandemic period will affect aerospace?
Aerospace business increased because of the war, because many of the companies are praying if war is there, all the inventory will be sold. Okay, and there are two kinds of aerospace. One is for the defense purpose, other one is a civilian purpose. There is no dearth of defense business because your taxpayers' money is put it in the budget. So India, whether you have a war or not, LCA is getting commission, Rafale is getting commission, it's non-negotiable. Civilian business can alter. For example, only the airlines which goes to Ukraine between Russia is affected. But thanks to COVID, everything is revived. It's not going to affect the aerospace business.
Hello, sir. Boeing is an American aircraft manufacturing company, and Airbus is a French manufacturing company, sir. Why not one of the companies is in India, sir?
Okay. You bang on. Civil Aviation Minister is already put a request saying that we have already ordered 500 numbers. Okay. You know there is a term called offset. Anyone know what is offset? For example, if I order 500 planes, okay, assume that it's 500 billion or 100 billion. So there is a rule that they have to reinvest 30% of that money in this India. Otherwise, they have to pay 18% of tax. Okay, so for that, for example, I was managing 1,000 people, engineering services because of offset. So the question is why? Okay. In order to set up a manufacturing plant, first of all, do we have the skilled resources to operate this? It's a counter question to you. Who are all the ecosystem partners, suppliers are ready to support Boeing? So it will take 10 years. But the first move will be from one of these companies. I am sure one of these companies in the next 5 years, they already buying assemblies from Tata. From Hyderabad, all your doors, structural components are going. That's why I said Tata is way ahead of this. You need not work for Boeing or Airbus, work for these big companies like L&T is very much into defense. Safran is there, that's my previous company. They are buying several millions of parts from India. Thales, everybody is there. So, as an end user, you always look at the logo, Boeing or Airbus. They are very much present here. Boeing employs 10,000 employees here in different fields. They are procuring materials. There are 100 procurement engineers already in India. Is that answers?
Thank you, sir. And one more question, sir. How do you anticipate the introduction of automation and artificial intelligence in these fields?
Okay, that's a good question. In terms of number, the number of aircrafts produced and the investment you put into automation will not return. There is a term called ROI, return on investment, or ROC, return on capital invested. Okay, so both will not tally. So people are looking at for the newer programs. For example, A320, which is a proven model, which is sold in all countries, which is going to come soon. There they will invest on automation. It is there, but not like automobiles.
Artificial intelligence.
Artificial, what do you want to know in that? Okay, artificial intelligence is very much there. For example, during COVID time, I was working on a project. How to understand the infection levels in the aircraft. Okay, so they use some medical technologies and AI to calculate how many droplets are there. So they used it. AI is very much used in passenger behavior prediction. For example, when they book the ticket, which destination to destination they are flying, who are all the repeat. There's a huge data. And on the operation side, now because of the safety requirements, the aircraft is transmitting several terabytes of data to the ground every second. And somebody is in the background, cannot analyze humanly. So there are some algorithms predict what is the problem going to happen. So AI is there in the aircraft, on the ground, on the airlines, everywhere it is there. It's like your Facebook or Amazon. For example, if you are working in a job, okay, my daughter is in a research assistant. She used to say once her money deposited in her bank, monthly salary, Nika, Amazon, everybody send the offer to her. How it's possible? AI. Same thing applies to airlines also. Any other questions? So how many of you want to take up a aviation, aerospace, airlines job with all these risks? Nobody. So what is your dream job then? Forget about aerospace. What is your dream job? I want to learn something from you all. So you don't know where you will land up. Okay? Any other questions, madam? Okay.
Agents, travel and tourism, all these are connected with aerospace. So there are a lot of areas where we can look at other than the core manufacturing. And just to answer sir's question, maintenance, repair and overall is going to be one of the biggest money spinners for India. Today, to change an aircraft tire, you have to go all the way to Singapore or some other country only to change the tires of the aircraft. So imagine how much fuel they must be burning, how much carbon footprint is coming on. These are the new challenges which we have. All these facilities which you are able to give here, definitely this is going to be one of the biggest money spinners and a lot of people can get jobs and at all levels. And to manage this, they need very good managers like you from the MBA faculties, because managing this huge workforce itself is going to be a big challenge. So each one will have systems, like my friend was asking about business analytics. There will be analytics on a day-to-day basis which you have to manage on real-time basis in aerospace or in any of the associated companies. There is no room for error. So you need to be very, very sure about what you're going to do. Okay? And when you say aerospace, it is not only aircraft, whether civil or defense. You also have space technologies like missiles, rockets, satellites. All this comes in the aerospace as a complete this thing. So we have, this scope is very big, and so is the risk, and so is so many other things. So you need to see where and all. There is lot of opportunities available. And like he rightly said, we already have 50 aircraft already within the country, and there are other 800 to 900 aircrafts which are already been ordered. So where is this going to be maintained? This is a big question mark, and that is where, and when he said we have to extend the life of the aircraft by another few years if we have to sustain, then those expenses from where we are going to recover. So if you have your in-house facility, MRO facility, I am sure half the problems are solved here itself. So these are some of the areas which you can look at, and I am sure there are a lot of other opportunities to come. Like for example, in Bangalore itself, Boeing and Airbus both have started their R&D centers. Okay, in Devanalli area, they have created an aero park where there is a company called Dynamatics. They are already making aero structures for these big companies. So even if you get into component manufacturing areas also, there is a lot of demand. And for every system, there is a manager required. A manager who knows exactly how to manage the whole system, and that is end-to-end system. I think the new coined word for that is program manager. Okay, he is next to the CEO or next to the top level person who will manage the entire show. So those are the new positions which are going to come in aerospace. With that note, I think I'll just
thank you, Suresh. Maybe I want to give some precision in my clarification. All of you understand retail business, right? How it operates, what kind of opportunities you might get it. Whatever the, see, for example, selling one dress or one apparel or one footwear, whatever profitability goes into marketing and advertisement. In aerospace business, there is no marketing, nothing, pure technology, and it is sale value is minimum of 100x, and profitability you multiply. When India becomes a hub for aviation, there will be a lot of requirements for supply chain. Once supply chain is there, marketing, sales, and analytics. And I have not touched about one more technology. If you have some interest, please spend some time on blockchain. That's going to be very much useful, which is already being practiced in aerospace. Because traceability is very important. See, you are not going to be you are not going to learn how to design an aircraft. If your interest is on retail, you should look at this option also, because very soon these opportunities will emerge. Thank you.
I have a question here, sir. So in case if any student is interested to get into aerospace for jobs, so what kind of skill sets you look for or you suggest them to get trained on so that they can get into the field easily?
See, in India, immediately available is 3 areas. One is the ground operations. Today, airports are employing more than 1,000 program managers. All of them are MBA, because there's such a huge data they have to handle, decisions they have to make, strategy they have to make, and they need to improve the customer experience. Then cargo, cargo is much bigger than your retail market. Cargo alone can fetch us, like a 500x of your overall Indian retail market. Third thing is manufacturing technology. That means supply chain, logistics, all these program managers are very much in demand. So these are all the immediate opportunities. So you have to look out for companies like Boeing. Boeing, like today it is more pronounced for engineering and manufacturing. Very soon, sourcing also there is going to be a separate division.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was an eye-opening session, and we thank once again that for sharing your thoughts and experience with us. Now, I invite Dr. B. Emmanuel, sir, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening. I take this opportunity to thank each one of us here and the audience and the guests on the stage, behind the stage, and so many, to run a program we need organizing people, logistics, and so many other things. So it is my duty and responsibility to, on behalf of MMA, I should keep on record that the management of Advanced Management Association, especially organizing this kind of weekly programs in a large scale. Mr. Satish and Group Captain Mr. Vijay Kumar, our Salem MMA chapter, our Vice Chairman Mr. Tyagavalli Pasar, the Managing Committee consists of Vice Chairman, and very important today's chief guest. We have given our time for a valuable session which was deliberated very nicely, very creatively, and we could see a lot of new things which we did not be aware of in the particular industry or segment. I thank Dr. Anjani ma'am to welcome the guest. I thank the student organizers, Mr. Suresh Rao, a senior business consultant from Sonastar Innovations, who has given the guest introduction, who has referred this valuable resource person to MMA and the institution. I also thank the participants here. Without you, we cannot make this success. First of all, I should thank the management of JSW, Metro IT Systems, MMA Auto Chapter, Messrs. Sarona TVS, and students from KIOT, Knowledge Institute of Technology, engineering students and faculty. You have made this occasion very useful. I hope the session was is really an eye opener to each and every one of us here, particularly the area of automation and the best practices that is going to happen in this particular industry. We have come to know about the background of our resource person today, starting from his early life at Gopichetipalayam near our town, how he has made his life through the diploma in engineering, mechanical engineering, which is really a path-breaking achievement, particularly working for Ashok Leyland companies like Safran Engineering and today with Avtech, CK Birla Group. So he has given us the enlightenment on the opportunities lying across the industry in civil aerospace and defense, particularly aerospace. We could see that MBAs and engineers where they can play a role like project management, PLM, program management, and altogether risk management, the shop floor arrangements and management, all these terminologies we could come across, and how India is making use of the opportunity through Make in India, Vision India, collaborations with across the countries and MNCs, and the vision of a country on manufacturing, where we could see that that one slide itself, I think we can explore many things. Even one day is not sufficient, I believe. The vision slide, and also the multiple verticals that is coming under the aerospace. So one sector we are able to see so much of opportunities. We cannot deny that India is going to have a very good future, and we really thank each one of us, particularly people from our own institution, faculty members and students. You made this success, and we want to see that your participation in the future programs very, very important. So without your support and cooperation, we cannot make this particular MMA events successfully. And I also put in record the staff of Sonastar Innovations, who have began this arranging and organizing this kind of events, particularly in this today's session. Any more interactions? Maybe guest will be here for another few minutes. He will go for lunch with our management, so you can clarify your doubts and do some kind of a small network. 5 minutes we can give. Thank you so much. I also thank the people who have helped us to organize this hall, the arrangement to stream the YouTube channel and all these things. I thank the person who is behind this, Mr. Chaladore. Thank you so much.